Next, the NFL draft happened this weekend.
That's true.
Happened Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What do you think of the new 3-day? I understand it's a cash grab, and they can sell more ads.
I don't believe I have watched even a first round of the draft since I was a teenager.
I haven't watched it in like 8 years. I just find
I am
out
aware
about
it's
it.
going on. I am probably following it on Twitter to some extent. That's it though.
There's no to me, and maybe we're just not big enough NFL fans. We don't have a team, which is part of that.
I don't even think if I had a team I'd care that much. I'd just kind of be like, okay, who'd you get?
Tell
Great.
me who you
Okay.
got.
All right.
So NFL draft happened this weekend, and of course, when the NFL draft comes along, the thing we're most interested in is how many people from Texas got taken. We are Texas football here.
Woo!
And the answer is, if you watch the first hour of the draft, a lot.
A lot, yeah.
A lot. 4 in the top 10, which is pretty amazing. Myles Garrett, defensive end from Texas A&M and previously Arlington Martin, goes number 1 overall to the Browns. Poor guy, but he does go to the Browns. He goes number 1 overall. He is the 12th Texas high school football product to go number 1, which is kind of amazing.
I was surprised when you threw that number at me before the show. I could not believe it was 12. That's pretty impressive.
12 of them. The most recent one, of course, was Andrew Luck in 2012 out of Houston Stratford. He is the first Texas high school football product drafted out of a Texas college since 1982, when Kenneth Sims from Groesbeck and Texas went number 1 to the Patriots.
Sure would like that to change soon.
So that speaks to another thing, is that of the 22 Texas high school football players taken, only 10 of them played for Texas colleges.
I know that's the other part of this, and I suppose it speaks to a larger thing that we won't get too heavily into, but boy, sure would like the Texas teams to start producing these guys a little more often.
A&M had the most of any Texas college with 3. Houston had the most. Texas. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. A&M led with 3 Texas high school football players that went from A&M that got drafted. They also had 2 from out of state that got drafted, and then Houston had 2 plus a third out of state player drafted. We mentioned the top 10. Myles Garrett goes number 1 to the Browns. Solomon Thomas from Coppell at Stanford goes number 3 to the 49ers. Jamal Adams from Hebron out of LSU goes number 6 to the Jets. And then Pat Mahomes from Texas Tech, our 2016 Dave Campbell's Texas football cover boy, goes number 10 to the Chiefs. So 4 of the top 10, you're thinking things are going to go great. The problem is that there were only 18 more, and I say only 18, but only 18 more to follow.
Just 18.
Only 22 Texas high school football players were drafted this year. That is 4th among states. 4th. Number 1 was Georgia. They had 30, although bizarrely, they had 30, including 3 first-rounders. Plus, so, Texas beat them on first-rounders, which is great. Second was Florida, 29. Bizarrely, Florida did not have a first-rounder. They had 29 from 2nd round to 7th round. Interesting. And finally, third was California with 26, then Texas, 22. Right after that, Louisiana and Ohio each had 16 each, and Illinois and Pennsylvania each had 10. A total of 37 states plus the Dominican Republic, the District of Columbia, Canada, and American Samoa drafted players. It seems weird, but this was a down year for Texas in the draft. 2016, they had the most. They had 32 kids get taken. This is 10 fewer. It's the lowest total in at least a decade, despite starting with the number 1 overall player. You look elsewhere. Zay Jones from Austin High got taken in the 2nd round, number 37 to the Bills. Tyus Bowser from Houston and John Tyler goes number 47 to the Ravens. Deshaun Hall, Myles Garrett's teammate and a Lancaster product, goes number 77 to the Panthers. Davis Webb, former Texas Tech quarterback, former Prosper star, then moved on to Cal. He goes number 87 to the Giants. Dante Foreman goes to the Texans. Texas City's own goes to the Texans. That's going to be interesting, kind of closer to home down there.
I thought it was a great pick for the Texans. They already got Lamar Miller, and I really think Foreman's going to hop right in and be a great NFL running back.
I think he can. Yeah, I think he's got the build. He doesn't need to add any sort of weight or anything. D.D. Westbrook goes 110th overall in the fourth round rather, to out of Oklahoma. He's from Cameron Yo, of course. Samaje Perine, his teammate there, goes 114th out of Pflugerville Hendrickson. He goes to the Redskins. 117th overall, Josh Reynolds, San Antonio Jays' own, goes to the Rams. Howard Wilson to the Browns. He'll join up with Myles Garrett there with the Browns out of DeSoto. Deatrick Wise from Hebron as well, and big day for Hebron, big draft for Hebron. 5th round, steal of the draft. I've said it before, said it again. The Packers grab Aaron Jones out of UTEP. El Paso
Packers
Burgess.
pick, right? We talked about this when it happened.
Super Packers of them. That is like, he's a guy who's going to end up being like, he's going to very quietly run for like 1,200 yards as a rookie, and everyone's going to be like, oh,
That'd be
yeah,
awesome.
that guy's pretty great. Sam Tevi out of Euless Trinity and Utah goes to the Chargers at 190. Oklahoma State's Vincent Taylor, the defensive tackle out of San Antonio Madison, goes 194th in the 6th round to the Dolphins. And then the 7th round was full of Texans. Kicker Zane Gonzalez out of Deer Park in Arizona State goes to the Browns. David Moore from Gainesville in East Central Oklahoma goes to the Seahawks. Josh Carraway, TCU's own, Flower Mound Marcus' own, goes to the Titans, 227. Adrian Colbert went from Texas to Miami. Out of Mineral Wells originally, goes 49ers. Devontae Mays from Livingston and Utah State goes to the Packers at 238. And the final Texan taken, Kyle Fuller, the center from Baylor.
Also a late grab that I think is really smart by the Texans.
Texans.
I mean, they've already got Nick Martin. They don't need him to be. I mean, he's a perfect understudy, right?
I think that's, yeah. He's a guy that you can kind of stash. There were also 3 guys who played for Texas colleges who weren't from here. Right. Justin Evans, the safety from Texas A&M, goes 50th overall to the Buccaneers. Jermaine Illuminor, he's finally graduated, and I never learned to pronounce his name. Texas A&M's tackle goes to the Ravens, and Brandon Wilson, the running back from Houston, goes to the Bengals, number 287. He was actually the last person with a Texas tie of some kind taken in the draft. So overall, it was actually a down year for Texas in the draft. Let's do better.
Yeah.
Let's just do better.